Hello and welcome to We Got a Podcast, a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm a soldier of savings, Doug.
And I'm ready to show you my true body, Ken.
We're the world's strongest under the heavens trio de dangers here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. This time we're going to be talking about something weird called Savings Soldier Cashman, but before that, I of course have to ask Doug, what's up, man?
You have no idea how much I wanted to, I wanted to use a different opener for me. I wanted to be like, I'm Doug, and hey, I might go all the way and touch a boob. But I couldn't resist. I feel like a soldier of savings is who I am, so I needed to make that my title. But I'm doing great, man. By the time the podcast comes out, I'll be gearing up, ready to go to the Genkidamatsuri. No, wait, it's not that. The faux Genkidamatsuri event, the pop-up tour, as they're just calling it, for Dragon Ball, the one in New Jersey. If you're going to the one in New Jersey, I'll be there Friday. So if you see me, say hi. Please feel free. But I'm super excited to go in there, walk out with just a big bag of figures. I'm not taking more than one. Don't worry. I wish I kind of could for my own personal collection, but it wouldn't be fair to get doubles when there's such a huge line. Because this event already happened in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And man, what a trip. What a horrible experience of a line that must be for people there. Because it was wrapped around. It went for miles and miles. And people were waiting there for 7 hours just to get a figure. And then to be told that it's sold out. Man, good luck to all you soldiers out there, soldier of savings, that are going out there to get that Genkidamatsuri Goku and any other figure you want, because it's going to be a trip for sure.
More soldier of spendings, because oof.
The best way to save is to buy this for retail. If you've seen the prices, they're $300 on eBay right now, and it's no way. Hopefully, it'll be available on Premium Bandai. Everyone is kind of confident it is, but I don't ever want to be confident until we get a confirmation. It's already been said. Premium Bandai Japan, it'll be available, but that's the same exact situation we had with the End of Z Genkidamatsuri Goku not SH Figure Arts, the Ichiban Kuji. But I don't know, maybe because this is an SH Figure Arts, it'll be more likely to be up on Premium Bandai, because this figure is going to print money. Everyone's going to want this thing, so it would be dumb for them not to, but you never know. Premium Bandai or just Japan selling in general has never been the most smart when it comes to merchandise and Dragon Ball. So yeah. I'm not taking that risk.
Like you said, it would be nice if they would just let us know that they're going to sell it online. But if they did that, those lines wouldn't be that long, and they wouldn't be guaranteeing all that money this month. So of course,
at this point, now is the time to after the Chicago, to tell us hey, calm down, don't riot at the malls. It'll be available on Premium Bandai. But
this way, people are talking about it, and they're still going to keep showing up. The lines will get longer, and they'll be able to sell through every single piece of inventory. And then after the tour is done, they can be like, "We're the good guys. Look, you can buy the stuff online now. It's fine."
It's going to be so therapeutic for everyone who's been in my comments telling me they're going to be on Premium Bandai. Don't worry. I don't know. It'll be therapeutic, great for everyone else. If they don't, I'll be like, hey, I kind of told you so. But that's the dark side of me. Just I hope they don't, just because of all those comments. But no. For the general public, I wish everyone could get a chance at this, because it's super exclusive at this point. They've only done exclusives where they never sold them online. I think for 2 SH Figure Arts. The one that was sold at some random in New York, in some random pop up in the middle of Times Square. Mm-hmm. And that was the only place they ever sold it. And I don't know why that figure's not more rare, actually, because that was the only place. But I forget the other one. But it's very rare.
They have a Tamashii Nation store in New York.
Yeah, and this was before that store was ever a thing. They just put up a tent in the middle of Times Square, and people made a line to get in. Luckily, Tanuki Joe went there and got it for me, because he's a New Yorker. But yeah,
nice. Well then, Ken, what's new with you?
I wish I could be here and tell you that I'm gearing up to play Yakuza 3 Kiwami, but no, I canceled that. It seems like a nightmare game. Stuff with that actor aside, I was looking forward to playing it. That is no longer the case. I will not be buying that game ever. I don't know, ?
Wow.
We'll see.
Did they change a lot?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not in the whole Kiwami 3.
They have made serious changes to the ending of that game, as I understand it. The lighting is worse than the PS3 game. They went from 100 sub-stories in the original game down to 31. They have severely reduced the amount of stuff that you do at the orphanage, which I think is one of the best parts of Yakuza 3, and what makes that game so special is running the orphanage as Kiryu and being involved in all the lives of the children whom you are taking care of. So they have just kind of taken everything that I loved out. I will not be buying that game for asterisk for now, but
for now, the right price.
Never say never.
If Randy pays half.
So, no, we're not making this a regular thing, guys.
So instead, I have just been going back to Red Dead Redemption 1 and Banjo-Kazooie, of all things, because I finally got my 8-bit DOE N64 controller. So I have I have the Nintendo Classics controller that came out, the Switch Online one. That's okay. I think, honestly, as I've grown, my hands just don't feel right in that controller anymore. Like my knuckle butts up against the left side, the left dongle that's off there. Yep. I love that controller. It was wonderful when I was a child, but now I need something for a person with larger hands. And so the 8-bit DOE 64 controller that I bought is wonderful for that. And it's been making me go back and wanting to play more N64 games.
Nice. That Visual Boy isn't out yet, right?
No. So that's another thing. The Virtual Boy stuff comes out, what is it, on the 17th, or is it this week? I don't even remember. I have to go check.
This month? Wow.
It's coming out soon, and I'm wondering if Nintendo is going to ship out those Virtual Boy headsets ahead of the thing starting on the app, because otherwise the app is gonna come out and no one is gonna be I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to play those games without the headset in some form or fashion, but you're gonna want the headset to play Virtual Boy games. So we'll see. I've got that on pre-order.
Nice.
So
nice.
But I've been just watching, I will probably over the next several episodes of We Got a Podcast, or possibly forever, be talking about how much I love my Plex server that I have set up. When Tyson and AJ and Randy, whose Plexes I'm connected to, sometimes there's something I want to watch and I don't want to bother you, to go put it on there. And now I don't have to. I could just do it myself, Thanos style, and take care of it. So I've been watching so much anime. I've been trying to watch a lot of 80s and 90s stuff from back when things were cell animated. And guys, we got to bring cell animation back. I know it's not cost effective, and it's a waste of time compared to how you can do it now. Or just do more to emulate that, put cell shadows in. And things just a very subtle shadow behind a layer where you can tell that the scanner picked up and projected a shadow just very slightly against what was behind it. Fake it till you make it. Or the way that it'll shutter, because it's not a perfect science when you are taking scanning those pictures for real.
There's that new video game that just got announced recently that really goes into that 80s style aesthetic.
Oh, the Nintendo
anime
one? Or for the Switch,
I think it's the Nintendo one. Yeah. And that looks dope. I really want to try that out just because that. But yeah, I watched actually Ninja Scroll for the first time recently. I think after Ken, after you mentioned it, I'm like, let me check this out. And it totally was the vibe I was going for in the 90s, and just story wise and just art wise. It was a good movie. It was really it just felt grounded and real.
Well, I mean, to me it felt like Seven Samurai a little bit, in that you have.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, I guess Seven Samurai kind of in reverse, because he's having to take down these different dudes, and he just goes through it. And it's a very quick pace, that story. Yes, Ninja Scroll is awesome. Doug, you should check out Wicked City as well. It's a bit more of a mature take, and not in that, it's because it's still anime and it's still zany, but I feel like if you like that, quote, grounded take, you'll like Wicked City.
Okay, great.
But that's all. I've been watching so much anime, it hasn't stopped. I finished Gits Sack, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, the first season. So I'm taking a break from that, and now I'm jumping over to finally watch part 6 of JoJo, Stone Ocean, which I'd never watched before. I am just really, I would still say, with my heart of hearts, if you just look statistically at how much anime is out there, I do not like anime. But there is anime that I like, and I'm going through all of that.
That's hilarious.
Nice. That's awesome.
Randy, what have you been up to?
Believe I talked about this before, but last week I finally completed one of my white whales of video gaming. I beat Xenogears for the PlayStation 1.
Congrats.
Yes. Hold your applause. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. Ladies, chill.
But it was quite the ride and a good time. And it feels good having that, finished, because then I get to do my favorite part of JRPG gaming, which is wiki diving and all of the assorted things to, really dive into all those little lore tidbits that maybe I forgot, maybe they didn't really go into, but like later interviews or something have gone over. So I've been doing some of that. There was like a lore book that they put out after the game was done, and some intrepid people have fan translated it. So I'm currently going through that. It's like hundreds of pages. It's wild. I'm skipping over some things because they are way too in-depth on things of like, here's what happened 8,000 years ago. And really there's like one little bit that is like interesting and like matters, but they're like, here's how their government worked, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it doesn't matter. We don't need to go into that, guys. Please settle down. But it's very good, very interesting. I finished that. It was like a companion podcast that was
that long one, right?
Yeah, very long. I finished that. That was very excellent. I'm probably going to check out that show again in the future for other games. That was the State of the Arc podcast by a group called Resonant Arc. And it was very, very good. They've got a whole bunch of other ones out there. I started playing Xenosaga Episode 1 for the PlayStation 2, and I know that they've got episodes for all of those. We'll see if I make it through that. So far, it's very slow, and nothing has really happened, like even combat-wise. So I played this in high school. I got I think maybe it's like the final dungeon, and I didn't finish it. So we'll see how it goes. I have had a saved playlist on YouTube for like the past 9 years that's just Xenosaga Episode 1, the movie. It's just all of the cutscenes. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, other than that, not a whole lot. Randomly, what have I been watching my Plex server? Dragon Ball Z Recut. Gohan is just about to turn Super Saiyan 2 against Cell, so that's going to be really exciting.
Ooh. What episode number is that in the Recut?
Oh, okay, so here's the thing. I break it up into seasons, so we're going to have to do some... Nah, he doesn't even want to know anymore.
Yeah. Use the absolute order.
No.
Dragon Ball had no seasons.
This is my choice.
Captain Ginyu, episode 5.
The Saiyan arc is 15 episodes. Frieza is 35. Cell is 37. So I have 6 episodes of the Cell arc left. So that's episode 32.
I'm not doing that math.
All right. 15 plus 35. That's easy. That's 50. And then we're going to add on to that 31.
32.
So
31.
81 episodes
81.
in.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I remember having to wait for the Cell Games DVDs to come out because for whatever reason, that was the last DVD set that Funimation released on home video.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I have the Imperfect Cell saga, and then I have the Great Saiyan Man saga. I want to see it in the middle.
No, we're going to do that in the weirdest way possible. Don't worry. We're Funimation. It's in our name.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? I started watching some episodes of Comedy Central Presents, which was the half-hour long...
So
random stand-up comedy things. So far, so good. Only one of them was problematic for a good chunk. But other than that...
Dave Chappelle, ladies and gentlemen.
Wasn't him. Was not him yet. I don't know. I can't remember if he actually got a Comedy Central Presents or if he was too big at the time already, because this was 98. So there's a lot there to watch. It's interesting. But that's it. I don't want to talk about that anymore. What I do want to talk about is about some savings. Because it's important, we're in our 30s. We got to start thinking about the future. And that's right. This episode, we're talking about IRAs. And no, never mind.
Oh my God, yeah. Invest now.
Randy, it's Ayanami raise.
Ayanami raise. Oh my God. If I walk into a bank, can I do a Ayanami raise?
Sir, she's 14. Please leave. You cannot do her. That was
This is a Wendy's.
This is a Wendy's. I like that this Wendy's employee knows who Rei Ayanami is. Anyway, talking about Savings Soldier Cashman. It was a 3-chapter manga done by Akira Toriyama way, way back in the old days. And we'll get into some dates and stuff. But first, I just want to talk to you guys. You came into it. What did you know about this before you watched it and read it? because it was 3 chapters of manga and one 15-minute short. What did you think? What did you know? How did you feel? Doug, you've done it super recently, so I want to catch you while it's fresh. What did you think?
Literally had no idea what this was until I opened the book and started at page 1. I knew the character design of like Cashman himself, and that's as much as I knew. Like, I was excited because his name is Cashman, so it's got to be something to do with money. But yeah, it was totally caught off guard with how I kind of enjoyed this little story. Are we explaining that we read the manga and the anime adaptation as well?
Right, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
All things Cashman, other than the new manga in 97.
All things Cashman, except for most of it.
Except for the largest chunk.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Let's break down a quick story of what Cashman is. So Cashman was a 3-chapter manga printed in V-Jump in the early 90s. It was also a 13-chapter manga printed in V-Jump in 1997 to 1998, written by Nakatsuru of GT Daima fame. It was also an OVA released in 1997 with character designs and key lead animation by Nakatsuru as well. The bulk of it, Doug, is those 13 chapters by Nakatsuru.
13 manga.
Only with like 9 of which have been collected, and none of it has been released or translated in the US.
Really?
So there is a huge amount that would be a large undertaking of some intrepid souls to get this set up for us.
But how much Toriyama involvement was in those 13 chapters?
Oh, probably like 0. I would guess.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's unnecessary.
We don't know. That's the
Wait,
problem.
so you said there's only 9 chapters have been collected, like the other the other 14 are just out adrift somewhere? What do you mean?
The other 4 are just in V-Jump. If you didn't buy those chapters of or those volumes of V-Jump, you don't have those chapters of say, Cashman.
Crazy. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, now back to what you thought
Well,
about it.
if it's any reflection on how Nakatsuru did the anime, I'm glad I don't see those 13 chapters then, because man, just a blanket statement, the anime was not it, man. It just we didn't need that. It was the longest 15 minutes of my life. Was it only 15 minutes long?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, you had the blueprints. You had the blueprints right here, and you didn't use them. Why did you try like mushing them and just like taking things out and putting things in and just like, no? It's just it just shows how amazing Toriyama is and how well crafted he can make a story, and like comedy and everything fit just cohesively and nicely. But yeah,
agreed. Ken, what did you know? What did you think? What did you feel?
So loyal listeners of We Got a Podcast will know that obviously I do have some level of familiarity with Cashman due to research done at the early stages of our Garlic Jr. review, because this manga does have the prototype of Meron in it. So I had researched Cashman, but I didn't read it until this. And the 3 chapters I thought were so lovely. I have said before, and I'm on the record as saying, when Toriyama is doing like gag for gag's sake, I'm not a fan. But this was the right mixture of story and action and comedy, much in the way that I think Sandland was, except Cashman is missing the element of Toriyama trying to say something. I don't think he's really trying to say something with this. Yeah. If he were doing Cashman nowadays, perhaps maybe he'd become a little bit more political and would have done something, but no, this is just really silly. So much fun. It's perfectly succinct. It's 3 chapters. The first chapter is his very first adventure on Earth. The second chapter is one of many of his adventures that he's had while he's on Earth. And the third chapter is his final adventure while he's on Earth.
Yeah.
It is just perfect. Boom, boom, boom. No filler, no fat that needs to be cut out. It's perfection. The OVA, however, I will say it's great kind of hearing Yamadera's first involvement with Dragon Ball. Of course, he is Beerus, as you know him from Dragon Ball Super. And also, there are other people who up until this point had not been involved with Dragon Ball and become involved with Dragon Ball quite later in much more modern situations.
But Cashman was the first like Toriyama
of thing. Well, they may have been in Dr. Slump. That I don't know, but as far as Dragon Ball goes, much later. But for the OVA itself, like, look, Doug, I think you have to take into consideration what it was. So to you, it was presented as just a video on my Plex. But
Yeah.
in reality, it was a piece of a collection of shorts that were released on VHS and given out at something like a Genkidamatsuri of that time, the V-Jump Festival in 97. So this was never going to be the top of the line animation. This was something aimed directly at children to go home and watch. Yeah. And I think it's largely successful as being just a one-off thing in that way. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Obviously, I don't cherish it like I do the Sandland anime, but it's fine. And I had a good time. I like the performances. I like hearing Yamadera. Bin Shimada is also in there as one of the two aliens. I had fun with it. But I will say I absolutely adored those 3 chapters from Toriyama.
Yeah, I think that's my issue, is going from that to the OVA was just so jarring.
Randy?
But Randy?
So I, like Doug, had very little knowledge about this at all. I knew he existed. I had seen his image here or there, but otherwise I didn't know nothing. So cracked open that manga from the Akira Toriyama manga theater and gave it a go. And I was like, okay, this is going to be silly and gaggy. And also, like Ken, I'm not a super big fan of gags for gag's self. I want to have a nice little mix. You know, there's a balance that we can do. And Sandland was great. You know, I'd even thought to myself of like, okay, if this is going to be like Dr. Slump, of which I have super little exposure to, other than like things here and there of just, here's some panels. Like, yeah, okay, I'm sure that's good, but I'm 40, basically. I'm not sure if I'm going to be into this. But no, it did hit just right, and I was really enjoying it. And then, yeah, just like Doug, longest 15 minutes of my life, I was watching it, and I was like, this is all right. But, you know, I'm glad that it's about to wrap up, and I checked. I'm like, never mind. I'm only 7 minutes into this. The entire second half, I literally went and checked the seek bar. I'm like, oh, man, all right.
Because when you first started, right, on the Plex, it just shows like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, this will be a breeze. And it's like, oh my God, this is still 15 minutes? Like we're still under 15?
Our attention spans are broken and destroyed. So that's what it is. So what is like the timeline for this? Because like we said, this comes out in 1990 to 1991. And if you're doing some math, wasn't Dragon Ball going on at that time? You'd be right, because it was. So we had chapter 302, Frieza's second transformation, where Frieza transforms into his third form. Vegeta tells Kuririn to, off him, to kill him. And that was November 27th, 1990. Next day is when we had Cashman Chapter 1 in V-Jump's first issue. And,
well, we'll get into what happens in this in a second. But the notable here in the timeline is that Cashman uses an attack called Big Bang Attack.
Yes. Okay. Which predates certain other persons. But then we've got Chapter 2.
Like, wait, am I reading that right? When that happened.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. Yeah.
Good reference. Either way, we have Chapter 2 of Cashman, which is Shamble's debut, and that was June 12th, 1991. September 18th, 1991 is when we had Dragon Ball Z episode 108, Terrible Happenings in Heaven, Garlic Jr. Becomes God. And if you have been listening to this podcast very recently, we watched all the way through all of those Garlic Jr. episodes, and we brought up Maron, Kuririn's new girlfriend. And wow, it's interesting that she is extremely like Maron, our character Shamble. And it's just 3 months in between one's debut and the other's debut. So makes you wonder, makes you think. For the people over at Toei.
Listeners, if you're wondering who Shamble is, we will get into that as well. But it is a character that if you watch the OVA in the version that's out there on archive.org, she is known as Shampur. And we will explain why that is wrong shortly.
Exactly. So then we have Dragon Ball Chapter 344, The Artificial Humans Lose Their Cool, where Vegeta steals Cashman's signature attack, changes what it is entirely, but uses the exact same name. And that is from October 8th, 1991.
So almost a whole year.
Yeah. Whole lot of time has passed, and enough time for that to have fizzled away in society's memory, and Vegeta can just steal that real quick from the Cashman himself. And then we had November 12th, 1991, Dragon Ball Chapter 349, number 17 and number 18 are Awakened. And then the day after that is our Cashman Chapter 3, our finale, chapter. So like I said, Dragon Ball going on. It's the hot thing right now, but he had time to kick out the stuff.
So crazy to think about that workload. Yeah.
How?
Well, there were times where he wouldn't be doing a Dragon Ball chapter that week. And, you know, One Piece takes breaks, right? And so I'm assuming Toriyama did too. And that he used those breaks to make one-shots.
Yeah, more one-shots instead of making more model cars.
Yeah, do something to relax, man. That's all I'm saying. Take vacations. So then we had Cashman 1997, Chapter 1, April 21st, 1997, which was the one that we had talked about before of Nakatsuru working on in V-Jump. And then we had Chapter 4 in 1997, which was July 22nd. And then when did you look at that? A week later, we had our Cashman OVA on July 29th, 1991.
97.
97. Did I say 99? Did I say a different number?
91.
Wow. All right. So then we had the final chapter of the Cashman 1997 manga, and that was Chapter 13 on May 21st, 1998. Was GT was over by that point, right? Because that was 97?
Yes. 97,
okay. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So that's kind of a condensed timeline of like when these chapters came out, when the OVA came out, when the second manga came out, versus what else was going on in the world of Dragon Ball at the time. It's still...
Doug, the Backstreet Boys, where were they in all of this?
Yeah, what was going on with them in 91?
All right, tearing up my heart.
They were putting out their first single hit, of course.
Is that NSYNC? I don't know.
Every month is their debut hit single.
It's their debut again.
Listeners, if you have not checked out our Tenchi Muyo episodes, you're missing out.
It's true. You should go do that. It's a good time. So that's kind of our timeline of how things happened, but what happens in this? Really quick, brief thing. If you've not read this, which you really should, then we're going to catch you up. We have our main character, Diora, a space cop who crash lands on Earth where he vehicular manslaughters a small town cop. He merges with him to absorb his understanding of Earth and assumes his job. His crash ship needs gold as fuel and decides to use his superior strength and power to earn enough money saving people to buy the fuel he needs to get home. And, of course, hilarity, shenanigans ensue, and many...
That's a very, condensed and unfunny, creative way to say it. The
Thanks,
story
Doug.
opens
I wrote
up
it myself.
I'm just saying, Toriyama has a way of making it just, gag, funny story, just in a perfect way. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And of course, Toriyama has a way of using puns and plays on words to name all of his characters.
Right. It's not a fault to you. It's so hard to condense that into a little paragraph to explain what's going on. The way Toriyama just lets it breathe. It's so good.
Yeah, he gets time to breathe. Ken yells at me if story synopses are too long, so I have to make it small.
It's hard yeah.
I'm sitting here wondering how much of this is getting cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he's already thinking that. What could I cut out of here? It's probably Randy talking about stupid stuff. So again, name puns. Let's go through a couple of quick ones. We had our main character, Diora. Could you figure out what this one was, Doug? Because I didn't.
I didn't bother.
I thought about it for a second. Of course, my mind went to thinking it was going to be something money related, so I would have never guessed.
Me neither. So it's radio. He's even got, some antenna on his helmet. That's kind of like these could be.
Because he comes from the planet of television or whatever.
Yeah, Velatision.
Velatision
is a planet, which is great. It's that one I was like, oh, I know what that is immediately. And I didn't try to put two and two together of maybe that will play into what our other names are. But no, Doug, like you, I was thinking money-wise, I'm like, no.
Yeah. When I did see the... what is it? The Velatision thing. I'm like, I did clock his antenna. I was like, kind of maybe that's something to do with it, or I don't know. The rabbit ears of TVs, of old TVs.
And we'd be remiss to not mention that Kamen Rider, who has a sort of bug aesthetic, has antenna on his helmet. So we've got another superhero here with little antenna things going on.
Now, these next two characters that we're about to speak about, they don't get named until the OVA. They do not have names in the manga, as well as Shamble as well does not have a name in the manga.
So we have Ovide or Obide, depending on which transliteration you're looking at. But I'm going to go with the V sound because it is based off of video. So Ovide. Swap those letters around, and that's what you get. Good. And then we have Rioste or Leost or, however you might want to go for that. But that is stereo. So I'm going to go with...
Nice.
Ryosuke.
Wow, man. I just never thought to, I was like, I don't want to think about that. But it's so clever. It's so simple yet clever.
Yeah. I mean, for Dragon Ball, it's like, of course this is what the pun is because I've known that for 25 years. But for this, like, I don't know. And I don't even know where to start to like try to figure out and pick it up.
We have Shamble, who, if you watch the OVA, you know her as Shampur. And that's because the credits are so crappy and VHS written, and you cannot read the katakana properly. And so you can't tell what's called the Daikuten, Randy, or whatever it is.
Dakuten, I believe, yeah.
Dakuten, or it's the circle or the 2 dashes, and they, I guess, read it as the circle. However, Mike, Aka, Vegito EX, he has scans, those elusive V-jump scans, and he took a picture showing that her name is actually Shamble, and we can clearly see the 2 lines. It is not the circle. So it's Shamburu.
Okay.
Or I guess Shamble, like someone who's in shambles. They're poor, don't have money. I'm guessing, but that means that her name pun kind of goes against everyone else's. And also Chapat's name, we don't really know what the pun would be if who knows? You guys want to get into the manga properly now?
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea. So we've got 3 chapters here. I don't believe they have titles. It's just chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Is that right? Okay.
Right.
Well then, let's go for it.
Yeah, it starts out here, and we have Chapat, this just like normal looking guy. Kind of looks a little bit like Android 17, which we'll get into later. But he saves a couple from an old man, or from a muscle dude, Hulk Hogan type guy. He presses a button on his belt to show true form. What he's saying in Japanese is show tai, and tai meaning like body, form, appearance. So he's saying show and then body, form, appearance. Of course, they're understanding that as my real body, real appearance. So that's what he's saying.
Okay.
The English word show and then body, appearance.
I guess to like let the audience know like the human form isn't the real one, because it was even like when on the first page when it shows the location, it's like Slope Town, Earth, and me not knowing what the story's about, me not knowing there's aliens in this story, I'm like, why did they include Earth? That like is one like good subtle hint that Toriyama puts in there to make you think, hey, aliens. It's great.
Now, Cashman appears, but we're introduced to his whole shtick, he will save them for a cost. They have to pony up some money
before he starts.
Right, for him to save them and take care of everything. And then this is where we get his backstory, which Randy so eloquently went through earlier.
Very eloquently. Yeah. It's hard to do.
Thank you. Right.
I just love crapping on you.
My ego. And I love when you crap on me.
Thanks. Wow. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Chapat has kind of been saved by becoming part of Cashman. And so now Cashman lives this dual identity of these 2 lives as he's trying to save up money so that he can get his way back home. He needs 20 pounds of gold, which is going to be a lot of yen.
Mm-hmm. It might be a common, you can buy it at any common liquor store near you, but what's the Back to the Future line, Randy? It's like, I'm sure plutonium is sold at every corner drugstore.
Oh.
But in 1955, these things are super rare. The same thing with the gold here. It's great.
All right, so the aliens with whom Cashman was fighting in space before he got hit and crash landed on Earth, they're also on Earth. Also, well, we won't know this yet, but they're also in need of fuel resources. They're on Earth, causing a ruckus, causing mud. And Cashman says, I'm going to steal their ship for resources so I can get back home.
Yeah.
So he takes care
He has
of...
like the sudden, like, I'm going to work for money. Wait, why am I doing this? I could just steal their ship.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's important to note as we go through this, though he calls himself the Soldier of Savings Cashman, that's not who he was on his homeworld.
Right. He has 3 identities now.
Right. Yeah, it's like Cashman is just this role he's playing while he's on Earth. He's not really, I would assume, this skeevy on his home planet. That's just how he is here. Makes quick mince meat of these aliens, and he yells out, "Big Bang Attack," and then with a kick, blows up one of the aliens' heads. And again, this predates Vegeta.
It predates that. But even like reading this post knowing about Vegeta's Big Bang Attack. It's so funny because the image of the Big Bang Attack, of him yelling Big Bang Attack, is at the very corner, and then the attack you see on the next page, but you just see the first corner of him yelling it out up close. It's like, wait, what's happening? And then it cuts, and he's just doing like a huge kick. It's like, okay. It's literally a Big Bang Attack.
Yeah, I would be curious also to take a look at the actual Japanese speech bubble for this.
It's probably in English, right? Just like the Vegetas?
So I actually own Cashman in Japanese.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And the very first, and I forgot I owned it, but I forget what this is called, but this is one of the Toriyama collections that has Alien Peke in it. The other one has Lady Red, which maybe one day we'll review. Just kidding.
Yikes. But, we got a pod after dark.
Yeah, if you know, you know. And I am so poisoned against localizations of Dragon Ball properties, having played Kakarot, Sparking Zero, knowing how everyone likes to make a joke just because they can. And I'm like, there's no way it says that in Japanese. But it does, in fact, say Bigu Ban Ataku in Japanese.
So my question was going to be how it was written out in terms of the elongation of things, which I do see that there is an elongation and things that are there, because specifically in here it was written Big Bang Attack, which is like, that is how Vegeta delivers that in the anime. So I was like, is this a reference to that specifically, or is that how it's written out? And it is written out that way.
It's Bigu Bang Attack.
Yeah.
So he's like, Big Bang. Yeah, okay. But this came first, right? So this is first, you're saying, by a year.
10 months, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Craziness.
He defeats the aliens, and he finds out that these aliens, they're also out of fuel.
Well,
so he's stuck.
I guess I should say, like, this whole Cashman 3 manga arc is like just riddled with just like, I don't even want to say like references or anything. It's just like Toriyama has an idea for something, and he's like, let me just use that again. But let me change. Let me copy your notes, me, and then try again on Dragon Ball. There's so many instances of just like, that's too like Marin being in this basically, and it's he's just using it again, but he makes it work.
The police station where I'm like, is that Lanfan from the first Takeshi Budokai that's there? And then the police officers, I'm like, aren't these like the same guys that were like going after 17 and 18? Which like,
I've noticed those, the old cop,
So that leads us directly into chapter 2. We're introduced to Shamble, our proto-Marin, who will not receive a name till the OVA, so you don't know who she is for another 6 years. She's just going to be Marin for the longest time. But her name is Shamble, and she wants to go out on a date with Chapat. And he's very confused by this because he is, in fact, Diora. He is the Cashman. And so he's very confused. I guess he's not tapping into Chapat's memories at this point. And so she's like, you're not gay, are you? And he's like, gay? However, in the English version, she says, you're not playing for the other team, are you? And he says, other team. But she is, in fact, just saying gay. Gay. Okay. Spelled the English word spelled out phonetically in Japanese.
I mean, if they're going to not censor, but if they're going to, like, I guess, do some way of tone it down, I think that was a perfectly acceptable way to do it.
Yeah. As a person of a certain persuasion, I think that's fine.
No, Randy, I am offended for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks for being an ally, Ken. Let me get you a medal here. I've got a whole drawer full of
Not gay enough, he said.
All right.
Not that I speak for the entire community.
Anytime I see something that's an over-colloquialization, I doubt in Japanese they would actually be saying playing for the other team in Japanese, literally like that. So I pull it up and I'm like, what's going on in Japanese? Because clearly something here was touched up for this version.
Not because it's the end all be all, but checking out gshow.org and just let's type in gay. And of course we get a bunch of different things for showy and loud, flashy, gaudy, so on and so forth. But we do have gay person, especially male. And we do just have the katakana gay, gay for it. We do have one down below that is, for homosexual, which is achike. So there's that. Anyway,
it's all. I think it's good to read something and have a curiosity, especially if you're already interested in localization, as I am, for that kind of thing.
If you're listening to the show, I'm sure you as well have some curiosity when that comes to that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. he's not attracted to Shamble at all. He thinks humans are gross, and in fact, he's later we'll find out proud that he doesn't grow hair from his body.
Yeah.
Yeah, how could
But that's
he
the thing, right? He still goes on the date because he's like, she has logic to that. I got to prove her that I'm not. Like, okay.
I got to keep up appearances.
So he goes on the date. And it's so cool to see Marin, for all intents and purposes, in manga form, isn't it? It's just so like drawn by Toriyama. Like, wow, this is Marin right here. Like, it's like to the T. That's cool.
Quite recently, we found out that 17 and 18 were designed by Toriyama's wife. Do you think she designed these outfits for Chapat and Shamble?
Ooh. Probably had some like advice. Like, hey, let me know what you think.
Absolutely had some level of input, if not like give him a scarf, put him in these stupid bell bottoms, even though it's, 1990.
That's funny.
I feel like knowing that 17 and 18 were designed by his wife kind of like unlocked a deeper understanding of Toriyama's own designs, to know that he wasn't responsible for those two. And then you look at 16 and you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here.
It's making you even more suspicious. First you're checking localization. Now you're like, I don't believe this man came up with these clothes. Just have to look into it.
Well, you know what else I like is these Honda trucks, fellas. I'm a Honda guy.
Oh, yeah.
I own a Honda. I love it. And he comes in instead of a Corvette, which is another Maron thing, is that she likes men in Corvettes.
Oh, yeah.
But instead, Chapat picks her up in a Honda truck, which blows a tire on the way on their date. And so they're just hanging out while he, I guess, is trying to figure out what's going on. And Maron complains that she's thirsty and is wanting Chapat to go get him a drink. And of course, he doesn't understand chivalry or anything like that. And so he's like, well, you go get it yourself. And he's like, no, can you get it for me? Okay, give me the money and I'll go get it for you. She's like, what?
This is so funny. Just the panels, how it's just like silence and just the wide shot of them just like staring at each other like the vending machine's there. Yeah. Go get it. Are you going to go get it? He's like, you got to pay for it.
Had me chuckling in my chair.
It's so good.
Well, on the way are the Devil Kids, who are these extremely tough elementary school students who drive that Shamble is very afraid of. And Chapat's like, well, they're just elementary school kids, and I'm a cop. Why would I be afraid of any of this? And we are introduced to Usunoro Namek Gohan.
Yes,
pretty
that's
wild.
what I thought, the haircut immediately.
Yeah. But his face is very much, calling Super Boo a slur.
Kind of looks like Spopovich.
A little bit, the bigger guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they just straight up shoot Chapat after they find out he's a cop. And he's like, well, they kidnap Maron.
We're not going to talk about how these guys are just Nappa and Vegeta, these elementary school kids.
Basically,
like the really big guy and the tall. Like, if you look at the little kid's face and like you remove his hair, that is Vegeta's face right there.
Yeah.
The same proportions of...
Yeah, that's what I mean by like Toriyama having like one thing, and like we think he's such a genius, but no, he just has the one trick pony, right? I'm just kidding, but it just feels like so much. It's just ripped other ideas. It's just stuffed in here, and vice versa. But yeah,
I do love, how can we sell that this large man is still an elementary school student? And like, if you take a look, like his hands come down to about the top of his knees. So clearly like his legs are very, very short. We have him challenging them of being like, hey, it's illegal for elementary school students to operate a motor vehicle, which is like,
That's
I'm pretty sure it might also be a school day. So we might have to do that. But we have our smallest boy just immediately take out a gun and shoot this man like, whoa, all right. We are going extreme there, / showing the danger of the small child, because Shamble is freaked out about this. So we've got news around of like what these two are up to. I mean, they're driving around. They have logo design put on their car to identify who they are. Yeah.
You'd be surprised what kids can get up to these days. So they've got Shamble, and they are threatening to touch her boob, as Doug was alluding to at the top of the episode.
Or maybe even her butt.
Yeah. Ooh. Cashman runs in. He's got a sword in his chest that pops out. He slices off the top of the vehicle, rescues Shamble. But then, in order to truly save her, it'll be 30,000 yen.
Oh, yeah. I forget. He's always working. He's always on the job, making some money.
Yeah, he's got to hustle.
Doing his hustle
before the job is done. It's the dumbest, funniest like premise. Like a guy that collects upfront money for saving you.
So he's got these buttons on his chest. One of them pops out his gun, the other one his sword. Are these also just hoi poi capsules, basically, just showing up again, but they're dedicated things in the chest? Because they're small, and
it's enough of a change of like aesthetics that I like it. Like, it's always quite. Is it just those two weapons? I was just passing through reading. I'm like, oh, like anything can come out of there, and it's fun to like see what he'll come out with next. But if it's just two things, then it's like, oh, okay, one left button, one right button.
You may notice left-handed with the sword at least.
Oh, he's a left-hander.
Yeah.
Wow.
As I am.
Oh.
For those who keep track.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd be interested. Doug, there could have been done more, but these are only 3 chapters. I mean, if this was an endless going thing, he could be the full-on Inspector Gadget of Japan and just be, different things pop out for whatever he needs.
True.
Cashman takes out the big one, and then is going to go for the small one. The small one threatens him, says, I'm going to send you to the next dimension. Of course, that, in my mind, going off. But it is literally Anoyo or Otherworld. So it is proper usage here. It is keeping in line with how Dragon Ball treats that kind of thing in different ways, because I think the dub uses next dimension early on, and then he shows true force, and the kid pees himself. He saves the day.
Yeah, he's like,
hilarious.
You're in trouble, old man, because I'm the strongest elementary school kid. He looks him dead in the eye, punches the earth, makes a crater. I'm the strongest adult in the world. So what? And the little kid starts crying immediately. It's so funny. I love how when Cashman first like stops her car, and the kids are just like, who the heck do you think you are? And Cashman goes straight into his like, I'm the soldier of savings. It's just so good.
And he does the soldier of reusing panels. Because it's the exact same thing from earlier, from chapter 1.
Cashman.
Chapter 3, a year has passed. Cashman still needs 16.5 million yen.
We didn't talk about that, right? How that's a huge thing for the difference in the OVA, where it's just like, oh, this guy needs money, and he's not making a dent at all.
Yeah, in the OVA, he's like already halfway through what he needs.
Yes.
But nope.
It's cool how like a year, it just says a year has passed.
Yeah.
Right, and we get an actual like updated numbers for this, which is fun.
Yeah. For wiki-minded people like me, I'm like, okay, let me plug in the data to my spreadsheets.
Yeah, it just makes the punchline of him like barely collecting any more than he already had a year ago more funny.
Yeah. So there's a guy, he's a cop, he can hear what's, the blotter, and there's a guy who stole 10 billion yen.
Billion.
10 billion with a B, Jesse. Billion. With a B.
This is where the Diora comes out, and the Cashman takes a step back, where he's like, they wouldn't miss 17 million from the 10 billion that is in there.
So by this point, Cashman has made a name for himself. So when he confronts this guy who's in like a cat mecha suit and whose face looks like Suppaman from Dr. Slump. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's name, who's just Kazuo Kuriyama. He doesn't have any special name. He's just like Lex Luthor, just the one thing. And he knows who Cashman is. They fight, and Kuriyama is like actually makes him bleed, right? Cashman? But the Cashman he's still too strong. He's still a policeman.
Cashman is Cashman.
He's cashing.
Cashman's an alien.
He's cashing checks.
Yeah.
So he says he's faced off against many frightening opponents. And which is interesting because, if I were wanting to do this, and I am because we're on a podcast, if this guy is in the Dragon Ball universe.
Galactic Patrol. Here it is.
Yen exists in the Dragon world. So it's not, just because they use yen doesn't mean they don't exist on Earth. There are groups of people who do use that. So who's he fighting out there, right? This is before the Galactic Police were kind of involved in the Dragon world. And again, he is just a policeman of his planet. Could we ever get a guest appearance from Cashman in the future?
That'd be pretty cool.
Like when Goku is traveling to different planets in the Moro arc, trying to figure out how to get back to Earth, could he make a stop and meet Cashman?
Because, like you were saying at the top of the show, he's not so gaggy of a character where it wouldn't fit within Dragon Ball. It kind of would really fit well.
He slots in perfectly for this world, I think.
Yeah.
He's very Jocko-esque.
Yeah, you know what? Give me a spin-off that is a buddy cop film that is Cashman and Jocko. I think that can work out really great.
Hell, just give me him in the background of one of the Galactic Patrol like stations, like just walking in the back as Jocko and everyone is talking.
100%. I think at some point we'll see in the background, because we already saw Jira from the Galactic Patrol, or whatever that manga Toriyama worked on was good. What's called. Anyways, so Kuriyama tries to split the money with Cashman. He realizes he's not going to win. Cashman's like, well, I could, but, no. And his conscience prevails. And so he drags...
Well, that's the best part, is that he's battling with it the whole time. Yes. Even after he beats him, he's like, should I take him? I could take the money. No.
But he takes Kuriyama back to prison, but he forgets to go back to his Chopot self. And in doing so, as Cashman, inadvertently kind of grants himself, they give him $1 billion in cash for defeating this villain, because he turned him in as Cashman, and then Cashman uses that money.
From Earthling's perspective, it's just like, you've done so much for us in the past year. Let's give you some reward money for all that kind of thing. No, Cashman did take fees. I'm thinking it was Japan, but still a year of service.
Right.
It was their gift to him.
Chopot lives.
Yeah. What a fun surprise.
So
I did not catch that, actually. What the hell?
Yeah, me neither.
The manslaughter charges are not sticking. The allegations. Gotta let them go.
The allegations.
Now, there's a line here that says, Cashman really was a man all about the cash. Okay?
All about the cash.
I looked that up in Japanese, and it is correct. Okay?
Uh-huh.
But it basically says Cashman is cash man. Right? So it says Genkidamatsuri, which means literally cash man. But once you have both terms in English, you do have to reword it a little bit. So I just wanted to show you what was happening.
Cashman is Cashman.
That's good.
All about them Benjamins. They should have done that.
So that is that whole thing. I wanted to go back to something that I think that both of you had mentioned, or at least pointed out, that he's kind of sketchy doing these types of things to like get money. But I'm putting myself in his shoes. I'm stuck on a planet that's not my own. I'm trying to do what I can to get home. The least I can do is something like this, versus like he could just go to a bank, do a terrorism, take the money and get out of there.
Do a terrorism.
But instead he does this. And also he does not ask for a lot. And even when he is worried that he might be asking for too much, he says he's open to negotiating with those old people right at the very start. It's like, if it's too much, I can go down. But listen, I need some money.
Right.
And his like count over a year does not get that much higher. So he's not extorting people. And I don't think we ever get a story of like, they weren't willing to pay, so they're just dead now, or whatever was happening.
That's what makes him such a Toriyama character, where it's just like he's just a weird sense of morality, where it's like, I'm not going to overcharge them, but I'm going to make them pay up front. So it's like you have it all backwards, kind of.
True, very true.
So let's talk about the OVA, which I don't think we need to spend too much time on, since none of us were really that up on it to begin with. But it's a slight retelling, alternate version of chapter 1 and 2 combined together. And then, as if this were a longer running show, that this was just another episode in that.
Yeah.
Like we're just dropped into the middle of Cashman's world.
Yeah.
Where the aliens are here, Shamble is here. We have a big battle with the aliens. Shamble helps out in a couple different ways. The aliens don't die and survive to fight another day. Everything, like Cashman's status quo, gets reset again, so we could go into the next episode and have like a very episodic, like imagine yourself a 30 episode series in the 90s, or however long animes ran back then, and just every episode, Cashman, he does something, wins something, gets money, and then resets it, and you go into the next one. And this episode felt like a test case to show this is what a Cashman show would be like, the feeling, the rhythm of each episode. And I guess nobody wanted it, because nobody was really probably optioning this to become a longer running show anyways. But I think maybe presented why maybe it shouldn't be.
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, it's very much is like an old school television pilot, where nowadays the episodes that's called the pilot it's really just the first episode, and then we just continue straight from there. Where before it would be just like here is kind of the vibe that we're going for. Here's the cast. Here's how the writing's going to go, and it would just be like here's the thing. And sometimes it's shorter than the full run, like this one only being 15 minutes rather than 24 or whatever it would be for back then. And yeah, I mean, the timing being in 1997, this is after GT, or at least, when it was wrapping up, when we would have started production on this, and when Nakatsuru would have been working on the manga to get that going to go. I'm not surprised if it's like, let's see if this is something that people want to go for, because we've got to follow it up, keep making that money, keep cashing in on Toriyama's name before he loses that luster, which he never will. So, this is just the first thing that we're going to go for that. Before we go into like the actual full story of it, can we just, we've mentioned some names for the cast, but can we just go over the cast real quick?
Well, I'll tell you, I was not planning to go into the whole story because I think we already summed up what happened.
We did, but I was just wanting to go to it before we talked about how we felt about it more or what have you. So I just wanted to, like we had said, Koichi Amadera is Diora / Chapat. We had Rika Fukami, who plays Shamble. You might have heard her in other things. The top ones that I picked here, things that I recognize. Fran from Final Fantasy XII. Minako Aino from Sailor Moon. So Sailor Venus herself. That's very fun. We have Nobuyuki Hiyama, who is Ovide. He's Ikaku Madarame from Bleach. The bald guy from the... what do you call it? Soul Society, that whole thing. Esso from some anime called Sorcery Fight, which Ken is a fan of. And Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho, that little show.
Now, up until this point, he had not joined Dragon Ball. He does join in Super as the voice of Barry Kahn and some character named Prum, who I'm guessing is someone from the Tournament of Power.
Oh, we had a billion people there, so it wouldn't surprise me. And then, of course, Ben Shimada playing Ryoste or Leost, whatever one you might want to go for, is, of course, Broly. He's Dispo in Dragon Ball Super, and then our replacement for Kami. And, so a nice little cast. It was very weird watching it and listening to it. I'm like, I'm not really feeling this music or anything. And then at the end, I'm looking through the credits, and there is no composer. There is just music selection. So I assume we just had a library of our, royalty-free music. And this is just the guy who picked it out.
It feels it.
Yeah.
It feels it. We also have Nobuaki Kanemitsu as Prats, who I don't know which character that is. It's, I think, based on the role that they'll join later in Daima. Actually, I still don't even know who they are. But up to this point, they hadn't done Dragon Ball. They will join in Daima as Mini Turtle Hermit. Fun fact.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah. I was like, Mini? Oh, that's right. When they're made small / children.
Remember at Daima when we saw all the kid designs, we're like, this is great. We're going to get a lot of stuff with all this wonderful cast as children. And it's good. Wow, Daima's going to be a really cool show.
Let's not poop on it no more. I don't want to get angry.
No one
again,
asked for this.
Ken. Okay, Doug. That's too good. We have to highlight that. Bump up his levels for when he says that. That's my official.
Blow it out.
Right.
I think immediately after reading the manga and then going into this, it just, even the intro of him just doing odd jobs. It's not him like saving people from criminals. It's just like, oh, what was the first thing he did? Like saved a goldfish or something, or saved the pet. And then he got paid for it or whatever. And then it's just like the huge title card, Cashman, which it's in itself could be kind of funny, but I don't know. I would have liked it better how it is in the manga, which God bless him for trying something different to make it new. Because you get the argument of like, well, they tried something new. You argue if it's the exact same, and then you argue if it's something different. Well, I don't know. When it just doesn't hit.
What a miracle that you can watch it at all. Honestly.
Yeah.
On archive.org. You, dear listener, you can go watch it right now. I do believe if you want subtitles that you will have to download the file from their website, then open up in the player of your choice. I couldn't figure out how to get subtitles to show up on the archive media viewer. But you can go watch this yourself. It's something that I would recommend watching if you read the 3 chapters. It is a nice little like, oh, cool. They did the thing. And then you'll never think about it again.
Yeah.
I will say I think they did Shambles' design dirty in this, where I don't think she has pretty enough eyes for what was in the manga.
This looks like the Dr. Slump remix or whatever they did. Like they brought Dr. Slump back, right? Like the animation team or style.
I mean, 97 Nakatsuru.
All the colors, well, the colors at least to me are just oversaturated. I think we could have pulled some of that back a little bit. And maybe varied the brightnesses as well.
They kind of did the character of Cashman dirty where like he spent a lot of money on his girlfriend when he didn't have to, right? And it's just he's like buying her necklaces and everything. He would typically just be like even with the drink scene we had in the manga, it's just like, no, give me money if you want your drink.
Yeah, I think at the very end of the manga, Cashman brings Chapat back to life and then leaves. There's no indication that he spends that whole billion yen. His whole idea was like, this is just the amount I need, and then I'm going. In the OVA, though, he's like, I'm going to take all of this money. I'm going to buy fuel, buy souvenirs. It is a very slight alteration of his character, and one that I do not prefer against the manga.
Yeah. There's other stuff that's like, it's funny, like, it makes sense with kid logic, but as an adult watching it, as the bad guys are dropping gold on the ground, like that's your fuel right there. It doesn't blow up and disintegrate when it drops to the ground. You can just go and pick that up and use that.
It gets dirty.
No, my money. Yeah, it's dirty now. Dirty money because he's the guy all about justice.
It's got to launder it. That's how you get it clean.
Yeah.
All right.
Worth watching. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's why I don't even want to go through talking about the story because it's so whatever.
Sure.
We've kind of talked about it in broad picture. Just go watch it.
Yeah. Well, great. That's good. We don't want to talk about it anymore, which is why we're going to take a break.
That's how these podcasts usually go. I don't want to talk about this anymore. We're going to end the podcast.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's find out what you had to say after this.
Alrighty, we are back here to hear what you guys had to say about Savings Soldier Cashman. Ken always putting stuff up on the blue sky, asking just those things. What did you think of the Cashman manga one-shot, three-shot by Toriyama and the 1997 OVA led by Nakatsuru? And of course, we got some great responses. So Ken, do you want to take this first one here?
Yeah, Nerdy comes in and says, sadly, all I managed to squeeze in before the deadline was the first chapter. I will say, I made it a point to let people know way ahead of time that we were going to be doing this because it is something you might need to go hunt down. So Nerdy, what happened? Anyways, Nerdy continues, luckily it was a really enjoyable chapter. After all the discussions about what parts of the franchise, quote, feel like Toriyama or not, it felt incredibly comforting to go back to something from the man himself. The art is incredible, the jokes hit, and I enjoy the world the chapter it set up. But what I'm left with after reading is how much I really love Toriyama's designs for not just aliens and heroes, but how he creates fun characters out of regular people. I think that part of Toriyama has been lost in the eternal escalation of Dragon Ball. I'm looking forward to reading the rest and watching the OVA soon. P.S. Cashman figure art / third-party figure, please? So there was a Cashman figure. Of course, you had to be reading V-Jump in the early 90s to get it. But yeah, third party, I could see it happening someday. Maybe we're going to awaken people to Cashman and we'll have a new wave. Oh, yeah,
you think we're going to do it?
Maybe we could be the first Domino Doug. Domino Doug, I like that name for you.
Domino Doug. Don't do it, Doug.
There'll be a whole new line of figures. This thing will just explode, and Doug will be in financial ruins. He will no longer be the saving soldier. He will be.
But yeah, like Nerdy said, it's just so great to see Toriyama art again. Like even just when we near the beginning, just the big buff guy criminal, like his muscles and everything. I was like, that's Toriyama muscles, like right there. That's like the human physique, even the clothing of like what the bad guy was wearing. Yeah, it was nice. It's so simple, but yet Toriyama,
It's Toriyama in one of his like prime eras where he's on all cylinders, Frieza arc, early Android. It's great to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we said, I went into this, I didn't really know anything. And I'm reading this first chapter and I'm like, okay, yeah, this art is really hitting. It's really good. And then of course, only at the end does it say, oh, this was originally printed in 1990. Like, oh, okay. So now I know exactly whereabouts in Dragon Ball this, art and things is coming from. So yeah, right in his prime. We've got this one here from Jacob Sawyer, who says, definitely fun. I really enjoyed the manga. The OVA was okay.
Yeah.
15 minutes, what is that to you? It's even if it was the worst thing possible, you'd be like, well, I saw it. So
yeah. That was the thing my eyeballs absorbed. C Squared comes in and says, love the show, first time commenting. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a real treat when Toriyama leans into these Kamen Rider-esque types of characters, especially in this case where they aren't as altruistic as you would expect them to be. Feels like pure Toriyama goodness. Thanks for giving me a reason to finally read this. Thank you for reading it with us.
Yes.
That's what I love about this podcast too, is that I would never do this on my own, really. Like I've owned this Akira Toriyama book for so long. I've never whipped it open.
Same. I think in the read through that I started like a couple years ago, I made it maybe this far into it and then stopped. Mm-hmm. And for audio listeners, like maybe a sixth of the way through.
Yeah, and it's such a crime because there's got to be so much good stuff in here. I just know it is just because it's Toriyama.
There is, but there's so much of that gag for gag's sake in it that I just can't get through.
You can burn out real quick from that.
Thank God we could just cherry pick Cashman out of this.
Yeah.
Bringing up that Toriyama likes that or she, I guess I do not know who C Squared is, because they're new, and that's really exciting. That it's a real treat when Toriyama leans into these Kamen Rider-esque types of characters. Again, putting this in timelines for 1990, we just had the Ginyu Force, so was he riding that like, you know what? I really liked, these stupid poses and these kind of like pseudo superheroes, because, Saiyaman is still ways down the line, still a couple of years away. So leaning into it.
This reminded me more of Saiyaman, just like the pose he's doing actually, just like just flip this and just like bring it up here, and it's the great Saiyaman, just from here. What's it there? The three fingers, Cashman. Yeah.
It's good stuff. So then we have Neldor here, who says, I had a lot of fun. Toriyama does what he does best, with his very funny and silly comedy paired with some great dynamic panels. I also like Proto Maron. She's really expressive. Yeah, seeing Toriyama tackle a character that looks like this and is kind of these sort of mannerisms, so cool. I'm like, give me more of that.
She does like the Vegeta yelling at Goku yell, where her mouth is like this long, like, stop.
When we were watching Garlic Jr., Doug, you said Toriyama would not create a character like Maron. And I mean, design-wise, you were wrong, but character-wise, you were right, because this is much more of a fully realized character than Maron ever was. Yeah, and it's only Toriyama who could basically take the same, like, if you say, like, these are the traits I want in my character, it's basically the same between the two of them, but Shamble is executed on such a higher plane than Maron was. True. And that's that Toriyama touch. So you were wrong about the design, but you were 100% right about the character. Chaozu #1 fan returns and says the 3 manga chapters were a fun little side story that has classic Toriyama written all over it. I wonder how he felt getting to do this during the end of the Frieza arc based on the dates in the manga theater. I particularly like Cashman's design. Like if Cooler was a weird version of Cell fused, and if something like that already exists in Heroes, well, oops. There is Frieza and Cell fusions, but I see what you mean. Yeah. I couldn't get subtitles to show on the Internet Archive video, but that could be a user issue. No, it's not. You needed to download it, but that's fine. They should just have an option to be able to do it. Regardless, from what I can tell, the OVA seems to be loosely following Chapter 1 and elements of 2, but it's kind of own version of it. Besides the obvious Maron inclusion, another Easter egg I'm wondering on is if his police buddies are early designs of the 2 gunmen in the Buu arc, especially the young one. OVA made them look different, but for the manga, I'm convinced.
Yeah. I definitely recognize them from... I thought the Buu arc as well, for those gunmen, or the police guys.
No, yeah, that's right.
Notice.
Yeah. I might even thought like initially of like the not the cops, but the bad guys that killed the dog, that killed B.
I think that's
saying here.
Yeah. The gunman. The sniper and his assistant.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I saw Fat Man in a cop outfit, and I was like, was this, chasing down 17 and 18? So that was me. Probably incorrect. These are probably more accurate. And then we've got this one from Andy, who says, I like the whole concept. It's just fun old Toriyama superhero stuff, and the setting of smaller towns just works. Hope you get to read the Nakatsuru manga one day as well. By the way, just in case you notice some locations/characters were used by Toyotaro in the Goku Black Universe survival arcs. Winky face. Oh, geez. We got to go back. Let's go read
You have to go back.
Goku Black. Come on.
I got to pull these volumes out off the shelf. Doug, you got to read it. It's finally time.
Oh, no.
No. Good stuff. I'm glad everyone jumped in and gave Cashman a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, really good to, again, just jump into it. Give us an excuse, too, because, yeah, I've also had this, and I had not cracked it. I was like, one of these days. And, of course, I could have died before that happened. But luckily, we have this podcast here to talk about it and to give you guys an excuse to also read it and check it out so you know what we're talking about. We won't spoil you on anything. You can experience
Just
yourself.
If I die, put me in the grave like this.
Cashman pose.
With your figures, because I believe you said you wanted to be buried with them. You're not leaving them to either of us,
Well,
right?
just incinerate me and the figures all together in one big pile.
Okay.
Wow. You could donate those to some needy children.
Nah, burn them with me. Get on your roof and just throw the dust in the air.
Okay, well, that's sad. Unlike...
It's a lot of dust.
Oh, yeah, I suppose a lot of figures. That would be quite a bit of dust. Well, I don't know how to segue anymore, so we're just going to do trivia. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, let's go. Cashman
right.
trivia? Okay.
Yeah, man. So I got these, of course, from our trivia deity Zenpai, and he did apologize, saying that he has been swamped with work, so he wasn't able to sit down and reread it or rewatch it. So this might be a little more generic Cashman stuff. So, Ken, you might be raking in points this time. I'm really putting him in the hole.
Okay.
So be ready for it. Here we go. Question number 1. What is the full name of the Cashman manga?
It was Savings Soldier, or previously known as Warrior Cashman.
Okay, I'm glad that previously that's a thing, because every time I've been saying it, I have to stop myself. I'm like, it's not Warrior, it's Soldier, which makes sense. It's alliteration.
Yeah, so Kazenshu uses Warrior, and basically everyone has been using Warrior for the past near 35 years, 36 years. Until Viz comes along and says, no, we're going to use a different word for Senshi. We're going to use Soldier. Says Super Saving Soldier Cashman.
I like it. It's alliteration, and I like that. So, yes, it was Chokin Senshi Cashman. So, that is savings. Soldier or warrior, you can go either way. It's good times. Question number 2. When was the first chapter of the Cashman manga published? Closest to the actual date wins. Give me a month and a year.
November 91.
We did this, right? But I forget. So I don't.
We did talk about it. Yeah. November 91. Interesting. Now, was he wrong? November 28th, 1990.
90. Dang. Mm-hmm. Well, still, he loses the point because we did talk about it earlier.
Yeah.
He wrote December. Now, that's the publication date. That's not the sale date.
Oh, God.
So if he's asking when did it come out, it was not December.
Says published, and it's the published date versus the release.
He's covering his tracks.
I think we got to get the judges in on that one. And I'm the judge.
Judges?
I'm the judge.
We don't, you're the judge.
I say I'm right.
You're judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah. I keep the guillotine sharp.
No.
That's a threat. All right, final question. Number 3. One of the Cashman characters makes an appearance in Dragon Ball Super. Which one?
What?
One of the Cashman characters makes an appearance in Super.
Yes.
That's a toughie.
Well, that I don't know. I guess one of the cops or something.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess one of the monsters. One of the two, the stereo or video.
So, Ken, I'm going to say that you're correct, but I'm also going to say that by virtue of Zenpai being wrong, because that's actually not one character. There are a full 3 in there that are references, because we have the larger, older, mustachioed policeman who actually has a line talking to Goku because he is paying him out. The 2 men wanted criminals with a bounty on their heads that he turns in. There's that large police officer, and then further down the page, when Goku is trying to hit the button to summon... Is that
Zeno.
Whis?
Oh.
Zeno.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know the Zeno button.
Yeah, it might have been the Zeno button. That's what it is. Oh no, he says it's the communication device I got from Whis. So
Yeah, in the
everybody's just
granola
giving Goku buttons.
He's got buttons in his pocket that just destroy universes. What?
So we have Goku in the background talking into it. Says, "Can you hear me? You in? You in bed? Come on, I need to get back to training." In the foreground, we have a woman with fluffy hair facing our back, and then just like half cut off is the other like police officer. It looks like the gunman with the hat on and everything. So it's like, all three of them are there. So it's not just one; it's all three. So fun trivia. Thank you for catching that, Zenpai. Actually, I would not have known that. So that was good. You said it was just going to be generic stuff.
That's good.
That one's a hard hitter.
That's deep cuts. That's what we like here at We Got a Podcast.
But he's not going to get the deep cut of the guillotine for that. So
Yeah, stay of execution.
all right. Okay, so that's where we're going to wrap it up. Thank you again, everybody, for listening. Thank you for interacting and reading along with us, because we love keeping you in the conversation, talking about our favorite franchise in the world. That's right. Our new favorite is Savings Soldier Cashman. And that's all this podcast is going to be from here on out. Just kidding. You can post at us on our Blue Sky. You can find us over there at wegotapodcast.com. Otherwise, you can also email us over at wegotapod@gmail.com.
Yeah, we want to thank Rifti Beats for letting us use this track, Kakarot Theme Hip Hop Track Remix. You can find that song and other great stuff by Rifti on his SoundCloud. So, Ken, where can the people find you?
You can find me at detectivex.bsky.social.
And Randy?
You can catch me over at Saberbreaker at wegotapodcast.com over on Blue Sky. Just look for Saberbreaker. Make it easy for you. Doug, what about you?
Trabaz Doug on the socials.
Another beautiful end of an episode of We Got a Podcast. We have a wonderful year ahead of us as we march onwards into 2026. And 2025 or 2027, of course, will be wonderful as well as we prep for Moro. But that's still a ways away. So if you're wanting to know what's coming next week, or I guess next 2 weeks, this is a bi-weekly show, right?
That's right.
Be prepping your spiciest, your zestiest, your hottest Dragon Ball takes. And you'll get to see what we do with them next time on We Got a Podcast. So until then, catch you, Matsunator.
Bye.
Bye.